Yo, what's up? Ricky Sanders here. If you live for fast cars, greasy hands, and solving problems under the hood, welcome to your new favourite spot. I'm all about real fixes, no BS, and showing you how to keep your ride running like a champ. So go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's make some noise in the garage. Enough talk. Let's get wrenching.
The YaMZ-658 diesel engine became the first Russian unit that meets the requirements of EV-R03 by technical parameters. The first presentation of this model took place at the International Auto Exhibition in Moscow, where the engine was installed on the YaMZ-5440 truck. This series of power units is a proprietary development of the Yaroslavl engine plant, and at the moment it is rightfully considered one of the most perfect and promising engines of domestic production. Technical characteristics. Technical characteristics of the YaMZ-658 engine for the entire period of production and modernization have not changed. Of course, the engine was improved by the latest developments and innovations, but there were very few constructive changes. Let's consider the main characteristics of the power unit, MAZ with a 658 engine from YaMZ. Diesel, turbocharged diesel engine 15 liters, 14,866 cubic centimeters, -0 to -4 block and head material 800,000, 1 million kilometers of mileage Euro. 3 Euro 4, 6585, Euro 5, 6587, cylinder order MAZ 5316, 5336, 5440, 5516, 6303, 6312 MAZ 6422, 6425, 6430, 6501, 6517 MZKT 69221K 744. KRAZ T17.0 PLS 2U250A, FS 6028C, GS10, GS12. It should be noted that all 658 series engines have a mechanical high-pressure fuel pump. Each cylinder has its own pump section, so that combustion takes place evenly. The fuel pump is located between the cylinder rows, on the engine camber. By the time of transition to the environmental standard -3 Euro, the company after diesel has released a more modern modification of the V8 engine. This diesel engine was created on the basis of YaMZ-7511 and is equipped with the same V8 block with 90 degrees camber angle and wet liners. The liner protrusion above the block surface is 1.6 mm. Inside the block is the crankshaft from the 7511. The aluminum pistons used here are 130 mm in diameter, 85 mm high, and the pin diameter is 52 mm. They are slightly modified and have their own rings. The piston pins remain the same. Two 8-valve heads from the 7511 are mounted on top of the block. The valves are adjusted in the same way, after 1,000 hours of engine operation. The clearances are the same, 0.25 to 0.3 mm. All modifications of 658 are equipped with TKR 100 turbocharger. On -3 Euro versions there is an electronic pump YaZda 179 and injectors 267 to 21, and the engine is controlled by ECU a bit M230. 3. This engine is sometimes called YaMZ 238 Euro 3. Modifications 6585 and 6586 are equipped with common rail and meet the standards 96-02 and -4 Euro respectively. The control unit of M240 is used here. This engine has an identical model with fewer cylinders, YaMZ-656. The 658 family is still in production, but they are replaced by inline YaMZ-650. Engine modifications. The internal combustion engine YaMZ-658 has received quite a lot of modifications and applicability on the automobile range. So, according to the technical documentation of the manufacturer's plant, let's consider what range and modifications the engine 8 has. YaMZ-6581, model for 400 horsepower at 1,900 rpm, the moment 1,766 Nm at 1100 to 1300 rpm. It has a 179 to 10 pump. Its ecological class is -3 €. This diesel engine can be found on YaMZ-658, 6303, 6312, 6422, and 6501, KRAZ-T17.0EX. YaMZ-658 is a modification with 179 to 20 on the 6582.10-01-06 and D-07 models, or 179 to 40 on all others, fuel injectors. This motor shows 330 horsepower at 1900 rpm and a torque of 1274 Nm at 1100 to 1300 rpm. It is installed on YaMZ-5336, 5516, 6303, 6312, 6422. YaMZ-6583 is another version, this time with 179 to 30 pump. Its power is 360 horsepower at 1900 rpm, torque is 1569 Nm at 1100 to 1300 rpm. It is installed on MZKT69221, K744, MAZ6425, 6517, and other vehicles. YaMZ-65851, analog of 6585, but tuned for 400 horsepower at 1.45 bar boost. YaMZ-65852, another version tuned for 330 horsepower at 1900 rpm, torque 1275 Nm at 1100 to 1500 rpm. The boost pressure is reduced to 1.4 bar. It is on the PALS 2U250A and PALS GS10. YaMZ-65853, analog of 65,852, but the torque is 1521 Nm at 1100 to 1500 rpm. Supercharging is 1.4 bar. It was installed on YaMZ-5316, PALS FS6028C, PALS GS12. YaMZ-65854 is a motor for Kirovets K744. Its output is 300 horsepower at 1900 rpm, and the torque is 1373 Nm at 1100 to 1500 rpm. Supercharging pressure is 1.2 bar. YaMZ-65855, tractor engine from K744 with 1.4 bar supercharger. Power is 350 horsepower at 1900 rpm. Torque is 1570 Nm at 1100 to 1500 rpm. YaMZ-65857, version for Kirovets K744 with 390 horsepower at 1900 rpm. Torque 1864 Nm at 1100 to 1500 rpm. Supercharging is unchanged, 1.4 bar. YaMZ-6586 is an analog of 6585, where the injection pressure was increased to 1800 bar, SCR catalyst was installed and the engine became compliant with -4 € class. The characteristics remained unchanged. YaMZ-65861, version 65852 for -4 €. YaMZ-65862, the same 65,853 meets -4 € standards. YaMZ-6587 is a modification of 6,586 for -5 €, where the injection pressure is equal to 1600 bar and there is another turbine. Technical characteristics are similar. Service of the power unit. The engine YaMZ-658 has no significant differences from its brethren. Service maintenance of the engine is carried out every 20 to 25,000 kilometers of mileage. Scheduled maintenance of the internal combustion engine is a set of operations aimed at preserving the primary condition of units and parts of the unit. According to the YaMZ engine repair and operation manual compiled by the manufacturer, Let's consider what operations are included in the maintenance of the 8 oil change. Adjustment of the valve mechanism. Changing filters. Thus, depending on the engine modification, there may or may not be the following filter elements: fine and coarse oil filter, coarse, and fine fuel filter element, air filter, eco filter for exhaust. Cleaning the injectors. Adjustments related to the high-pressure fuel pump. Other operations aimed at maintenance of the power unit. To service a high-pressure fuel pump is a separate set of operations, which can be done qualitatively only by masters in repair of fuel equipment of diesel engines. The fuel equipment deserves separate consideration. Initially, the main elements were supplied by the German company Bosch. This is a unified system, where the fuel injector and electronic control module are combined into a single unit. For each cylinder there was an individual fuel supply pump. In subsequent modifications, these elements were replaced by the equipment, which was developed by YaMZ, Yaroslavl Diesel Equipment Plant. In particular, the engines began to be equipped with control systems ESU1. There was a fuel injector compact 40. Only the concept remained common, which gives the power units such advantages: accurate fuel dosage at all stages of the operating cycle, adjustment of injection depending on temperature, load, and speed, correct starting regardless of operating conditions, compatibility with other vehicle electronic control systems. Electrical wiring is now packaged in flexible corrugated hoses, which virtually eliminates mechanical damage. High indicators of environmental safety are provided by a closed crankcase ventilation system. The engine design allows the installation of air coolers. A flap for emergency stop of the unit is installed. Engine repair. Basic description: repair of the YaMZ-658 engine is a whole set of operations to restore the performance of the motor, which is not recommended to do with your own hands. So, it is worth turning to professionals who will be able to correctly diagnose faults and wear, as well as what internal element needs to be replaced. Let's consider the main set of operations, which is carried out for the YaMZ-658 motor to carry out a major overhaul of the motor. Superficial diagnostics of malfunctions is carried out by ear. The motorist determines the presence of extraneous noises, as well as the preliminary location. Measurements of the cylinders and crankshaft. Determining the repair number, as well as ordering spare parts. As practice shows, in most cases, in order not to bore the cylinders of the engine, the block is lined. This option allows, and in the case of subsequent repairs, to bore not the block, but the liners, which when worn can be removed and inserted new. Repair of the cylinder head. Assembly of the power unit. A separate parameter is the restoration of the TNVD. As practice shows, the master repairs only the plunger pair, which wears out most often. As for inline repair operations, every owner of a car with a YaMZ engine has sufficient skills and knowledge to restore his engine on his own. The main thing is that the hand grows from the right place. The most frequent problems include malfunction of the starter and generator, water pump failure, replacement of drive belts, adjustment of the valve train, oil replacement, replacement of engine filters. Repair instructions for each node are available on the internet, or you can use the factory books, which are available in the public domain. Conclusion: the YaMZ-658 engine is considered a legend of the domestic automobile industry. More than half a century of production, the power unit has shown itself to be reliable and easily repairable. For these qualities, it is loved by motorists. It should be noted that YaMZs, both 658 and other power units of this brand, were often exported in large batches. For example, China orders engines of this series for its heavy-duty trucks, because only Belaz and Caterpillar can compete with YaMZ. But they are much more expensive than the domestic analog. YaMZ-658 engine. Characteristics: YaMZ-658 engine. Characteristics: YaMZ-658 engine. Characteristics: correct starting regardless of operating conditions. Adjustment of injection depending on temperature, load, and speed. In conclusion, the YaMZ-658 engine stands out as a robust and reliable power unit, boasting impressive specifications that cater to a variety of heavy-duty applications. With its powerful output, efficient design, and durability, it has earned a solid reputation in the automotive and industrial sectors. Understanding its features and capabilities can help users make informed decisions when selecting an engine for their needs. Thank you for watching, and we hope this overview has provided valuable insights into the YaMZ-658 engine.